So this is a former WTMJ host and author, writer, blogger, podcaster, all that stuff. Charlie Sykes.
Yeah.
What did you not expect more? What was least unexpected for you? Was it the fact that the RNC is in Milwaukee, or the fact that Donald Trump got a third nomination?
Oh, I think that everything about Donald Trump. I mean, the fact that here's a guy who is twice impeached, defeated, disgraced, indicted, and look where we are right now. I mean, he is cruising to a renomination with an overwhelmingly unified party. Anybody that says they're not surprised by the events of the last couple of years hasn't been paying attention.
All right. So which is a bigger game changer, Senator J.D. Vance or the shooting that happened on Saturday?
Well, that's an excellent question because they are both game changers, but in very, very different ways.
Right.
I mean, obviously, the shooting has reset 2024 in immediate terms. It set the scene for this convention. I mean, this is a convention that is now kind of a celebration of, Donald Trump can now pose as both a hero and as a martyr. So, I mean, clearly he is benefiting from that. But that's going to be short term. Longer term, the pick of J.D. Vance shows you where the Republican Party is going. This is full MAGA. Trump could have chosen somebody from the more traditional wing of the party. He chose one of the most outspoken isolationists in the party, one of the most outspoken populists and nationalists in the party.
Yeah.
And so what that would indicate to a lot of traditional Republicans is that we're moving in a very, very different direction. This is a very wrenching change for them.
That idea of the extremist on both sides seems to be, that gap is growing every day, it seems like.
Well, and what's going to be, and it's changing the tone of the Republican Party.
Right.
I mean, you pick J.D. Vance because you want to go after union workers, you want to go after, blue-collar workers. Very, very different than, say, what the Republican Party looked like in 2012. Now, whether he'll be able to deliver that, I'm somewhat skeptical. I mean, I do think that we need to put it in context that, yes, the selection of Sarah Palin was a game changer, but it didn't change the game the way people thought it was going to change it. And VP candidates get a lot of buzz and attention, but very rarely actually make a difference.
In Chicago, 1 month from now, who gets nominated? Joe Biden or...
Well, you know what? Speaking of unexpected, this moment that we're in right now, the fact that you're even asking that question, that we really don't know for sure. I was just on a television hit where we were discussing all of that. Our political landscape could be very different a week from now than it is where we're talking now, because Adam Schiff from California just came out and said that Joe Biden should drop out. They apparently are going to be delaying that virtual convention vote. So there's a real possibility that it will not be Joe Biden. And that creates something that none of us can really predict at all.
Charlie Sykes, how you doing, by the way? Are you okay? Are you good? Do you have friends again on both sides of the aisle? Are you coming back around?
Oh, no, I have no friends on either side of the aisle. In fact,
Okay, that's where you would like to be.
Well, there's a perfect symmetry of Democrats saying, shut up about Joe Biden being old. And then people on the right saying, no, you need to shut up about, Donald Trump being a rapist felon, and all of that. So it feels comfortable and it feels familiar.
Well, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you, too.
Where can we find you?
Well, okay, so I have a newsletter called To the Contrary that I put out. I'm an MSNBC contributor, and I'm a contributor to The Atlantic magazine now.
Charlie Sykes, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure, absolutely.
What was the best part about being part of the WTMJ team?
Okay, so you're gonna edit this, right? Now. Okay, well, I was in the WTMJ team for 23 years, and that's a long conversation. And I look back on that, and I think what we did with the honor flight, I think what we did with creating a community was extraordinary. And I also, the world of radio, where you can express ideas and develop relationships with listeners. This is something that I tell people in the media all the time, is that television and print have their strengths. But radio is the most intimate of all of the medium, and until you've done that, until you realize what it's like to be in people's ears for 23 years, you don't really understand how that bond is created.